Hello, everybody. This is Chuck Wiger at the State Senate, and I'm with my colleague, Senator Susan Kent. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Chuck. Glad to be here.
Okay. Well, we're in the 2017 legislative session. We've had town meetings in Maplewood, and I know you've had at least a couple of them, Susan. And we've gathered a lot of input putting together our budget, but I thought we'd give the viewers first just a little bit of background on who we are, and then talk about some key issues and where we go from here. So, Susan, give us the background on where you're from and how long you've been in the Senate.
So I represent Senate District 53, which includes Woodbury, Landfall, and then the southern parts of Oakdale and Maplewood. And so in southern Maplewood, that's up to the railroad tracks, which are just north of Maryland.
And then I've got everything to the north of those railroad tracks for the rest of Maplewood.
And the rest of the city of Maplewood,
yes.
Exactly. And so we get to work together a lot on
yes.
community issues and school district issues, and it's a lot of fun. So I've been in the Senate since 2013, beginning my second term, and really enjoying it. I live in Woodbury, and I have a 16-year-old son, so we're learning to drive, and and it definitely, we stay busy, obviously, with work here and then things going on at home.
Good. And as viewers know, I live in Maplewood, 5 kids that are grown up, 5 grandchildren, and I've been in the Senate now since 1996 when I was first elected. And prior to that, I served on the school board for nearly 20 years as well. So had a lot of background in working in the local issues. So it's an honor to have us representing, for each of us, Maplewood, and we've had a variety of meetings and talking to people. And the number one issue that I guess that we have to do, and it's required by our Constitution, is to get a balanced budget.
Yep.
So your thoughts on that as we approach our budget?
So again, since I live with a 16-year-old, we talk a lot in internet memes, and so yes, we have one job. Yes. And our one job this year is to get that budget done. And so I know we're both really focused on that, making sure that it's a budget that reflects the priorities of our communities in Minnesota. Yes. It will be, we're finishing that up now. We have, several weeks that we're working through here, and hopefully a good process that's accountable to Minnesotans, yes. And so that everybody can see what's going on and that we can have an honest discussion about those priorities and come up with something that really works for our communities.
And we've had a number of meetings, and it's a diverse state, diverse community with strong opinions. We need to invest more in education, do more in transportation, addressing healthcare issues, and at the same time, tax relief. And so you can't do all things, right. And ultimately it's a healthy balance right. In terms of this whole process, and that's what we're working on. The budget bills, as you said, that's priority one. We have put together proposals in the Senate and the House, and the Republicans are in control of the House and the Senate, but we've been active, particularly on education. You're in transportation as well, many areas you're involved in, but we've done a lot on education. And why is that such an important issue to you, Susan?
Oh, education has been important to me forever. I come from a family of educators. I just fundamentally believe it's one of the most important things that we can do for not just for our kids and our grandkids, yes. But also for our state. It makes Minnesota strong. My background is in marketing, yes. And so I often think about, how do we make sure that Minnesota is staying competitive? And we've been successful for generations because we've made these commitments to education and our workforce, yes. And that's why we have so many successful businesses here, that they stay here, that they want to yes. be here. Not to mention, it gives each one of our kids just their best opportunity in future.
And you said it, the workforce, the importance of that, and we have a premier world leader in 3M, and yeah. We might add that is what brought you here to Minnesota.
That's right.
Let's share that for those that don't know.
Absolutely. So my husband's a 3Mer, and we met when he was one of the first group of 3Mers to move down to Austin, Texas, when they first opened the Austin Center. Yes. He's from Maplewood. And so
went to North High.
He went to North, exactly, yes. And so it's no surprise that we got pulled back to Minnesota happily, because this is where we chose to raise our family. And mm-hmm. It is largely because of education and yes. the quality of life here in Minnesota. But, 3M is changing some of their plans. You know, I was
Yes.
there when they opened that big new center in Austin, Texas,
Yes.
20 some years ago, and they're pulling back that commitment to Texas, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that the workforce they need is here in Minnesota, and they're
Yes.
recommitting to Minnesota all around the state, which is
Yeah.
exciting.
And we are so pleased about that, and 3M is an exemplary corporate citizen for their involvement in our school
Yep.
districts, but just the whole community as well. And we'll find too when we're out in the neighborhoods, especially in Woodbury and parts of my district, you might go on a block and maybe every other house is a 3M household.
Sort of like the street I live on.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
Mhm. It's an important part of the community in the East Metro, absolutely, and throughout the state.
Okay.
They're-
And we want 3M to do well, as all businesses. You were very instrumental in helping and working with the city and 3M officials for their research and development
Yes.
facility. We'd like to share on that. We're so proud of that.
I think that's such a great example of a number of good things that we do. For one thing, sometimes it feels like in legislating that it's a slow process, and you know it's a little like watching paint dry. Sometimes you don't actually see the results. But when we drive by that wonderful R&D center and realize that was one of the first bills that I got to work on
Yes.
when I came to the Senate, and I was really honored to be able to do that. And it was a wonderful partnership between 3M and the city of Maplewood
Yes.
and the state in terms of the 3M donated the land for the public safety center, and then there was some tax considerations, and now that wonderful building is up and running, and it is a home to new innovations, a new generation of innovations for 3M, which is exciting.
Great. And so we work very closely with businesses, but then the leaders in Maplewood, for example, Mayor Slawick and council members, and so that's a part of the team. And I mentioned that we have town meetings at the city hall, and you've had them other places in the community to see what those recommendations are. So I have been making progress on a number of issues. We still need to make more. Transportation is an area that we've both worked on, and your thoughts as we hopefully get a compromise package together.
I am all for compromise. I think there are a number of ways to solve this problem, but what I'm really concerned about is I want to make sure that we don't walk out of this session with a fraction of what's needed,
Yes.
and then mislead Minnesotans that we've actually solved the problem. We know that to take care of our roads and bridges adequately, it's going to take a certain amount of investment.
Yes.
And if we don't take care of that, it's sort of like if you have a $10,000 problem with your roof and you only spend $2,000, you probably haven't fixed the roof, and you're going to keep having
Yes.
problems. And so that's what I'm very concerned about. This is a serious challenge. It's
Yes.
going to cost us more in the long run if we don't take care of it seriously. So that's what I'm looking forward to, is to making sure that we do it honestly and with
Yes.
real accountability in the numbers that will actually make a difference. And the other thing that is important, and I know we've both worked on this, is transit throughout the metropolitan area.
Yes.
We are a growing region. We can't build enough lane miles to
The
fix
public
that
wants
problem.
this.
Yes. the
And they're
public
asking
doesn't.
for it, and I've noticed that the Chamber of Commerce in the western part of the area, and there's support here in East Metro too, but they're meeting with the general public on the buses and the light rail, and just saying, tell legislators to please
Right.
support this. So
Right. 'Cause
let's get it done.
If the current plans go through, there will be significant cuts to existing bus service.
Yes.
And I know out in our community, anytime they open a new express route,
Yes.
it's instantly full.
Yes.
There's so much demand for more than we have right now. It's absolutely inconceivable to me that we would actually cut what we
Yes.
have currently.
Good. And there's a bonding bill that we hope will get passed, and there's we got to get the budget. That's priority one. Get it balanced. It's in the Constitution. But then there's a budget bill that has a number of projects, and whether it's for Central College, the University of Minnesota, that's an important part of the building of our state.
And we have one special consideration in Maplewood that's
Yes.
a bonding provision that would do some sound mitigation for the law enforcement firing range, the training range in South Maplewood.
Yes.
And so that is something that is specific to Maplewood.
Yeah.
It's small, but it's important to those neighbors.
Absolutely, and examples too in the past where we've worked to get some improvements in Maplewood at the Tubman Center
Yeah.
on violence prevention, which we're so proud of the partnership that we had with the monastery, the cities, and other groups to help people, families
Yes.
that have been victimized. And so I am very pleased that we've been able to provide some state bonding money to help in the facility for upgrades for beds for victims, and so
Yeah.
pleased with that. The training center for firefighters,
for public safety.
and the partnership with the college at Century College, another great example of
And-
what we can do.
And a partnership with cities around the East Metro. It's a
Yeah.
it's a real it's a
22,
real way to,
I guess, are a part of that compact.
That's
So
right. Yep.
some of the
Phenomenal.
things that we do as well.
Yep.
So
And I'll also point out one other one that I know you worked on and then I got to work on is Fish Creek, the natural
Yes.
area down in far South Maplewood.
Yes.
And the new trails have been put in, and it's pretty exciting to see it. So I know I want to get out there and enjoy it. now that
trails
spring
are
is here.
so important, and our parks, and key reason why people enjoy this area.
Yep.
And so we'll continue to do work on these items, and we have our telephone numbers here. I'd like to tell everyone what your number here is at the Capitol.
My phone number is 651-296-4166.
And viewers, if you want to give me a call at the Capitol, 296-6820. We have emails as well. I mentioned we have town meetings. If you want to meet with either of us, give us a phone call and we'll set something up. Always pleased to
That's
do that as well.
And,
So
and sign up for our email newsletters where we
Yes.
get updates about those events and other things that are going on in our communities and in the legislature.
wonderful. And we'd also want to congratulate Maplewood. I believe it's their 60th
Yes.
birthday this year, and many more to the community.
Absolutely.
So, Senator Susan Kent, thank you for your service, and thank you, viewers, for the honor that each of us has to represent you. Please let us know anytime we can be of further help. Thanks, Susan.